What's up, Yugi tubers? Lotus here. I'm going to go on profile Shiranui for you today. It's a new archetype that comes out in Breakers of Shadow in the middle of January. So far, it is my favorite archetype from the set. I don't think it's the best archetype per se, but it's got a lot of different things it can do, and its extra deck has got a lot of unique cards that I don't see a lot of other people running, and in general, it's just really unique. It's not going to be the next meta deck. It's not going to top tournaments. I see it being a mid to high tier 1 deck. But let's go ahead and jump right into it. So first, Shiranui monster, Bushi of Shiranui. During either player's turn, you can banish one zombie type monster from your grave. This card gains 600 attack until the end of the turn, and if it does, if this card battles with a monster this turn, banish that monster. So it's a really good out to basically beaters that you don't have anything to get over, or if you're in a really low resource situation, he's definitely a good out. So his second effect is, if this card is banished, you can target one Shiranui monster in your grave except himself, add it to your hand. I use it sometimes. A lot of the times though, you're going to want certain monsters in your grave, so it's okay if you're in a low resource situation, like I said, and you need something back in your hand, but most of the time in this deck you're going to be able to special summon stuff from your grave, so it's not the best. Second Shiranui monster, 3 Chief Priest Shiranui. He is one of my favorites because he combos with basically every other card in the deck. When this card is normal summon, you can special summon one Shiranui monster from your hand or grave except himself, but banish it when it leaves the field. So not only do you get to bring a Shiranui monster back from your grave, so one of your synchros possibly, or Bushi, or your tuners, they also get banished afterward, which is convenient because, like I said, they all have when banished effects. His when banished effect, you can target one face-up card your opponent controls, destroy it. Pretty great for getting rid of any pesky floodgate traps or monsters that can't be destroyed by battle, or something you simply can't beat over at the time, because you're going to be banishing cards pretty often, and he's generally the one that you're going to want to go for, because popping something is always great. So Cursed Katana Shiranui is the Shiranui tuner for the deck. If this card is in your graveyard except the turn it was sent to the graveyard, you can target one non-tuner zombie type and himself, banish both of them, and then special summon one zombie synchro from your extra deck. So basically your options with that one are any of your level 4s plus him for Katanagami, or if Katanagami happens to be in your grave already, you can use him and Cursed Katana and then go into your level 8 synchro, which is pretty cool. I think syncing from grave is a really nifty concept. It's super useful in a lot of scenarios where you're really low resources, or if you need to discard on your opponent's turn. I generally would discard him, so that way on my turn I can sync from grave, which is pretty cool. Alright, so the last Shiranui monster is Swordsmith of Shiranui. I only run 2 of him because he's not the best per se, and I don't really want to draw into him. He's generally graveyard fodder because his banished effect is usually the one I'm using. This card is banished. You can activate this effect for the rest of the turn. Zombie type monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle. I think it's kind of weird that you have the choice to activate it or not. I guess because you're cycling stuff from grave so often that sometimes you might want your stuff destroyed. Who knows? It's really good combo though for outing stuff that you can't get rid of in combination with Bushi, because you use Bushi effect, banish him, Bushi can't be destroyed by the battle, and then your opponent's monster will be banished after the battle, and you'll take a very small amount of life point damage, but it's really good for outing stuff. So I put him at 2 because I want him sometimes. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard as secret material, you can add one Shiranui monster, or one Shiranui card from your deck to your hand. So it's good for searching into the Shiranui trap or the field spell if you need either of those, or any monsters that you're currently lacking that would help you out. The drawback to that is that he's generally not on the field. I don't want to use my summons on him. I generally want him in the grave because I think his banish effect is much better, although I wish his banish effect cannot be destroyed by card effects or battle. Anyways, on to the generic zombie monsters. So yeah, Unizombie, very, very basic card. Dump 1, increase one monster you control by 1 level. So this helps to discard anything you want to stock your grave with, gives you targets when you don't have targets, and it allows you to synchro for 8 much easier, and it also allows you to sync for 7 if you don't use this effect. I'm generally using it as effect because I want to stock my grave, and I like my level 8 synchros. Goblin Zombie I was running 3 of, but this card misses timing when discarded or attributed, or if this card is used as cost, it misses timing, which kind of sucks. So I knocked it down to 2. I really only use him for like kind of baiting out my opponent, make him make more plays before he gets into what he wants. Or if my opponent is playing really conservatively, I will attack into them and use his mill effect so I can see what my opponent is doing, or possibly they lose something that they needed really badly. So decent. Mizuki is another generic zombie monster. You can banish this card from your graveyard and then target one zombie type monster in your graveyard, special summon. So another card that I like to use for cost on any discard or tribute effects, because you can bring back anything from your grave really easily. It's pretty convenient. Okay, so onto the spells. We got Book of Life, generic zombie support card. Target one zombie in your grave, one monster in your opponent's grave, special summon yours, banish theirs. Which is really convenient if you're playing against somebody that has a deck that uses their grave as resources, like Shaddolls or Heroes. A lot of decks nowadays have that. So pretty convenient to be able to banish from your grave. The only thing that I don't like about it is that you need the target in your opponent's grave, so if they don't have anything in there, it kind of sucks. Alright, so 3 Twin Twisters, another new card that comes out, Breakers of Shadow. I think it's another really broken card on the part of Konami. Discard 1 card, target 2 spell trap on the field and destroy them. So really low cost, especially because most decks want stuff in the grave now, and then getting rid of 2 spell trap is really fantastic. So you don't have to run double or triple MST or what have you. It helps reduce down any clogging cards in your deck, and then it also helps to stock up your grave with good resources. 2 of the Shiranui field spell, which is not that great to be honest, but you kind of do need it to help when you brick, or if you need to discard, or if you need to special summon from your grave. This is definitely helps out sometimes. Once per turn, if you control no monsters, you can send 1 card from your hand and then activate one of these effects. Generally, I'm only activating the first one. The second one is not that great if you don't have a field. So target 1 zombie type monster with 0 defense in your grave, special summon it. Pretty self-explanatory. Helps get you into synchroing much quicker. For the 1-of spells, we got Monster Gate. Basically reasoning, but less risky. So pretty useful. And it helps put something in your grave if you need it. Goldsark is broken with this deck. It's not really, but it's really useful. It helps you get it banish, any of these guys, so they get their banish effect immediately. So protect your monsters, pop 1, add something back from your grave, really useful, and then you get it to your hand eventually. Foolish Burial is useful for if you don't have targets in your grave currently for certain effects, like Mizuki. If Mizuki is solely in your grave, you can't use Mizuki's effect, obviously. So if you need something to summon with an effect, Foolish Burial really helps. The Shiranui Trap. Everybody's saying it's basically Icarus Attack. I never played Black Wings. I don't know what Icarus Attack does, but tribute 1 zombie type monster, then target 2 cards on the field and destroy them, and then banish 1 Shiranui monster from the deck. So you could pop 2 real quick, and then if you banish Chief Priest, that's a 3rd card that you get to pop. Or if you banish Bushi, you get to add something back from deck, or Smith to protect. So really good utility. Call the Haunted, self-explanatory. You're going to be wanting special from the grave constantly. Solemn Notice, another new card that comes out with Breakers of Shadow, and I think it's probably this one's actually broken for sure. Only because you can run 3 of them. It's almost definitely going to get hit with the format after Breakers of Shadow comes out, because it's insanely low cost for how good this card is. When a monster would be special summoned or a monster effect activated, pay 1,500 life points. That's next to nothing to negate a special summon or a monster effect and destroy it. Really, 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 really good. And it's going to be important when Infinity is ran in everything. So I see this being like super expensive, super popular card on release. For the last ones, you got Bottomless Trap Hole and then Torrential Tribute. Pretty much self-explanatory. For the extra deck, got Akusagami Shiranui. He's the level 8 Synchro for Shiranui. This card is special summon, not synchro summon. So if you cycle him back from your grave, you get that effect again, which is pretty great. You can banish one zombie type monster from your grave. This card gains attack equal to the banished monster's original attack until the end of the turn. So really useful for beating over whatever, because he's already at 3,000, and if you banish any of your Shiranui monsters, he's going to be at a minimum of 4,000, or I guess if you use Katana, 38, but that'd be a really bad play. So minimum of 4,000. So you're going to be able to beat over any monster they put out. Tower is not even a threat. And then if you banish any of your Shiranui monsters, you're going to get the Shiranui added effect of whatever one you banish. So pop one, add one from grave, or can't be destroyed by battle. Overall, essentially just a beater, but one of my favorite beaters. The level 6 Synchro, Katanagami. You can only special summon one per turn. Once per turn during either player's turn, you can target one of your banished zombie monsters, shuffle it into the deck, and if you do, change all monsters your opponent controls with attack lower than or equal to that monster's defense position. I'm not entirely sure on this effect because from what I've seen on DevPro, you have to have a target on your opponent's side for this one to go through, and all of your monsters have like 0 defense, so you can never use that effect according to DevPro. So I don't know how that one works. I'm perplexed, but it's a decent beater, and it's good in your grave because it helps you to use Curse Katana effect to sync for 8. Psyframe Lord Omega, you're going to be using its second effect generally in this deck, which is once per turn during your opponent's standby phase, you can target one banished card, return it to the graveyard. So it helps to cycle certain stuff that you banished prior, which is really great for looping effects, continuing with the same resources in your grave so you don't really minus anything ever. Okay, so the rest of the monsters in the extra deck are essentially just toolboxes. Got Goyo Guardian, Black Rose Moonlight, Black Rose, Red Wyvern, Metaphys Horus, number 101, Silent Monarch, Castell, and Diamond Dyer. These plays aren't that relevant in this deck because if you have 2 level 4s on the field, one of them is probably Unizombie, and you're going to want to tune for 8, which is a lot better than overlaying. So I really just have those as generic outs for whatever. The side deck so far is really super unthought out, to be honest, but I haven't really needed to decide. I've just been kind of testing this build and seeing exactly how it works. 3 MST, get rid of any nasty traps, game 2. 3 Wavering Eyes for pendulums, because pendulums are a thing now. Fiendish Chain, because people are gonna have some nasty monsters that are just unbearable. And then DNA Surgery. Okay, so DNA Surgery is like my favorite side deck card right now because Magispectors just became a thing in TCG, and I don't know if you guys have played them, but they're very annoying, and their spells and traps are really good, and this stops their spells and traps. If they don't have a Spellcaster Tribute, you can't do it. And it's really funny. I think it's the most random out to Magispectors, but it's super effective. Way more than you'd think. Anyways, that's my profile for Shiranui. Let me know down in the comment section if you think I'm doing anything wrong, or if you think my numbers are off or anything, or if there's just anything I didn't mention at all. Go ahead and hit the like or subscribe button if you want to see more videos by me. Thanks for watching.